conversations for change, because the world is ready. The days are starting to get warmer. Enough that I don't want to sit inside, especially upstairs. And this spot in the shade of the Japanese maple, under the hive of balcony bees, and watching the squirrels in the English laurel, seemed like a more interesting place to land. There seems to be an albino squirrel in the mix this year. It's certainly unlike any squirrel I've ever seen before. Almost ghost-like. There's a nice breeze here, too. And that's very helpful when the days get warmer. Today, the theme seemed to be about comfort and soothing. It just felt right. It was the place to start. And I realized that the reason it's the place to start is because we can never truly look at ourselves or see what needs to be seen that's asking for us to see it and change, unless we feel safe, unless we feel comfortable. When we feel anxious or fearful or defensive, it's not possible for us to think about or look at those places in ourselves that are asking for us to take a look, that are asking for us to improve the way we interact with ourselves and others. And all of that is a part of what it takes to step into our personal divinity, which I do believe is the task at hand in the world we live in today. And some might say it's a big ask. It is a big ask. But it's the only ask that's worth taking the time to respond to. Really, when you think about it. If you were God, wouldn't that be what you'd be asking for? For people to step up to the God within them and become more of it. The animals all live from within their instinct, from within their direct experience of God, without a separate self. So their actions never need to be considered in that perspective. Their actions are always full of innocence because they don't know anything other than the pure innocence of being. There is no self-reflection. There is no contemplation. Or at least that's what we tell ourselves. But for us, it's different. We always have the opportunity to make a new choice. And in fact, our choice is the one thing we have that separates us. That no matter what experience we are in the midst of, we can choose how we respond. Or if we respond at all. Listening to the bees, I am reminded of the concept of how the bees respond always to everything that is needed in every moment. There are two beautiful books by a woman from Washington State that speak directly to this idea and to the idea of what it would be like to live always from the point of view of doing whatever is in front of you to be done without question, without hesitation, without expectation that someone else should do it instead, without keeping score of whether or not you've done enough for your part in whatever relationship you are a part of that requires you to do certain things. As simple as taking out the trash, putting away the dishes, folding the laundry. Jacob Lieberman speaks of this in his book, Luminous Life. And he talks about how his life changed the day he started simply doing whatever was in front of him that needed doing and not asking if it was his to do or if someone else should do it. Just simply doing it. And in a way, that is a very profound choice because it is choosing to be of service to life itself, to whatever comes up in the moment, to whatever needs your attention. And the way you know it needs your attention is because it's shown up in front of you. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. And in that space of choice, when you decide to be like the bees and do what is in front of you with a joyful heart, with a grateful heart, happy that you get to be the one who can do it, grateful for the body that has the ability to do it, then gradually, as you step into that, your life changes. Things get easier. Everything gets easier. And conflict dissolves around you. Because you are no longer in conflict. And so conflict isn't with you. This follows the same principle that you are here by yourself, alone in the world, and that everything out there is really just you reflected back. Everything you encounter is yourself showing you over and over who you are in this moment. That's one that takes some time to wrap your head around, but when you do, everything changes. Just like the bees. They simply do what is in front of them in every now moment. Just being in the presence of their sound is soothing. Watching them is mesmerizing. And maybe it's mesmerizing partly because it's so completely different from anything we are used to. They really do operate as a single being. When you watch them swarm, it is as if one being has taken flight. There are no crash landings. Nobody bangs into anybody else. They rise as a single unit into the air. You can stand in the midst of it, and they won't touch you. And because they're in the midst of a swarm with a purpose, they really pay no attention to you at all. It is the one time you can be sure that there will be no aggressors. There are no guard bees in a swarm. There is just the swarm. I think sometimes it might seem impossible that we could ever rise to the place where we would all be seeking our own connection to that divine self within. But I also know, regardless of where any of us are at any moment in our journey, that is the journey we are all on. For me, moments like this in the shade, under the trees, with the birds and the bees and the breezes, help me to find my way back there. They remind me that life is truly magical and good, and all is right with the world, regardless of any outside opinion to the contrary. There is no outside opinion that is worth giving up this space of peacefulness and connection. And that is a very good thing. I think the more of us who hold this space and call it forth and offer it to the world in our work and our prayers are doing a service that no other thing can do. We are being the humans who are willing to call forth that which is wanted, that which is beautiful, that which is divine. And it is in our calling it forth that we help it to manifest in the world. I truly believe that.